Good morning, everyone. Let's get all the little machines going here. Okay, there's one. And there's two. Okay, I think we're on. Hey, hi everybody. Oh my gosh. Okay, so happy Tuesday. So what we're gonna do in this seriously wonderful sunny day. Hey Jane, good morning. We're gonna do I'm working on the ferments this week because of having been on antibiotics. It's really important to replace your intestinal bacteria, and so everyone is becoming more and more aware of the my glasses are all stuck. I don't know why they're stuck. Anyways, okay, these are different glasses. I leave them everywhere. I've got glasses everywhere. Okay, so anyways, yeah, so what we're going to do is work on fermenting, but this time we're going to do salsa. So we're going to ferment salsa, which would be really cool. And hi, Monique, good morning. Yeah, it's a gorgeous day out there. Just super, super awesome. Finally it's feeling like summer might be here, finally. So yeah, so we're going to do this. We're going to actually use my regular salsa recipe and then ferment it, which is awesome. So I'm going to use half an onion. This is a pretty big onion, so I'm just going to use, I don't know, I'm going to use two-thirds of the onion, because just looking, I only really have 3 tomatoes left here that I found in the fridge, and so I'm going to use, and a little bit of the peppers. And so your tomatoes, try and get around that little pepper seed there. A lot of people do, they get rid of the ribs and all the things of the peppers, and I think a lot of restaurants do that, to make it more appealing. But I like to include a few of the seeds and the ribs and everything in the peppers because I think that it's okay. Yeah, there is a thing about lectins in peppers, and I'm not even going to go into that because there's just so much. Hey, hi Darlene, how are you doing? It's so sunny out there. I was out there right away, like 7:30 this morning in the garden, trying to get my last bits of, beds cleaned out, because I just had such a slow start to the garden. I mean, I didn't have a slow start. I started early, but the slugs just kept wiping them out. And so, kept wiping out all my seedlings. And so I was just terrified to put the fourth planting of peppers out, because the slugs just mowed them down, and I was out there every day, catching slugs. But anyway, so yeah, so I finally, I know it's very late, but I finally have put all my new seedling babies out there, the newest ones. And so hopefully the old ones survive and the new ones have enough summer left to produce. But I have a feeling I'm going to be purchasing my peppers this year for the most part. Hey, wow. Hey, Barb, how you doing? Nice to see you on here. And wow, that's I hope that's going well. Yeah, so going back to work. It's a strange thing, people going back to work right now. And also, so many people that I know are starting their, or restarting their businesses. And yeah, it's a really pretty crazy time. Always cut on the inside of the pepper so your knife doesn't slide off and cut your hand, because it would not be cool. So I'm cutting these up fairly fine. I am going to use my little hand machine here. And yeah, I'll probably have to do it in 2 batches because it's not a very big machine. and put this salsa together. So of course your onions, you guys know this already because you've been listening to me for so long, that the onions are anti-inflammatory, and you know, they really are good for inflammation, whether they're raw or cooked, and antihistamine as well. I am going to add some ginger to this too, to this salsa. So I'm just cutting it up small so that my little blades work okay. Oh, the smell of that is amazing. Okay, so I'm going to add some of the orange pepper too as well. And I am going to throw the seeds in there too because I don't... Oh, okay. I get it. Anyways, yeah, you kind of threw me off there, Barb. But anyway, yeah, no, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. That makes me feel better. So I have a little piece of yellow pepper here, and so what I was saying is the reason I'm adding the seeds is because I could have sworn I had a beautiful green pepper, a jalapeno that someone gave me, and I know it was in the fridge, and I looked like 3 times. I cannot find it. So, you know, and sure enough, as soon as I make the salsa, it'll show up. So I am going to happily add these seeds because it does help to add a little bit more heat to the salsa. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to have to add this in batches. So I'm going to take this back out. That's too many peppers. It's not going to fit. We're going to do this in 2 batches. We need something soft for the blades to grab. So we're adding our tomatoes, and the tomatoes also are very anti-inflammatory. When they're cooked, they are really good for the prostate, as well as being, I don't know if you guys heard that, my stomach growling. So they're really anti-inflammatory, and when they're cooked, they're really good for the prostate, and they're also really good for menopause as well. So for the tomatoes, so definitely eat your tomatoes. And for some reason, and I can't remember the details on that, that they do tend to be even more powerful cooked, which is unusual because most things you want to be, you know, raw is best, but they work well. So I'm also going to add, I have a little bit of fresh turmeric, so I'm going to add that. And again, I don't know how strong that blade is. Actually, I think it depends more on how strong my arm is. I'm going to cut that in little tiny pieces and add some turmeric. So these guys, you know, I kind of left a few garlic scape tips too long. And so when I peeled them open, the little garlic scapes, they're like little baby garlics in there. And they have the little green, I don't know if you can see it, the little green like leaves and stuff. And so my plan is, because they're pretty soft, I'm just going to cut the end of the garlic where it's got the stem, and then just pop these little bits off, because why not use them? They're so fresh. So I'm going to use these little bits, and I'm not even going to worry about the skin, you know, the little skin, because like if you look at that, I mean, it's pretty soft. You can swallow that skin, I'm sure. It's just, you know, it's not like the crunchy stuff that on the older garlic. So I'm just going to cut that in half and add it, and it's kind of neat because, you know, you can see the little, how it's really cute with the little growth and stuff, and so I'm going to add those. And yeah, so the reason for fermenting the salsa is it's just one extra way of getting those natural probiotics in. And so, you know, reading more and more about the research and the importance of the probiotics, and how much it controls your immune system, like your whole immune system, so that we are able to withstand more exposure to, you know, to disease and viruses and all that kind of thing. So so keeping your immune system strong, like this is one of the easiest ways. And so, you know, not everybody's going to be making the raw sauerkraut like I do, and like I said, you can purchase it at oh yeah, that's so weird. Facebook has been really, really weird. Yeah, I know, right? Going back to work. Anyway, I'm just reading the comments here and the discussion on going back to work. It is, and that stress is hard on your immune system too. Going back to work is very stressful right now for a lot of people, and I think if you're a business owner, I mean, I just can't even imagine all the rules and all the protocol and everything that's going on right now. I'm just looking to see if that piece is really hard, but I can get my fingernail in there, so it's I think it's fine. But the stem will be too hard. Anyway, yeah. So stress is going to affect your nervous system or your immune system as well. And so the more that you can do to enhance your immune system through food, you know, through whenever you can get into a peaceful place, like you know, even in the garden or a walk in the forest or a meditation. Deep breathing is absolutely super important. And when I teach the deep breathing, I'm going to add a little bit of lemon. We've got some seeds here. When I teach the deep breathing, you know, basically it's like 30 deep breaths, you know, in through your nose. And you're going to go all the way down to your stomach, right? Till your stomach comes out. You're not going to be into your chest. You're going to go. And actually, if you do that and you breathe in and you push your stomach out, it automatically sucks the air in. And let your stomach go right out. And you can either, depending on your breathing, nose or mouth or whatever works for you, right? You know, there are many different ways. Whatever works for you that's comfortable, and then so just exhale slowly. And so if you do 30 deep breaths, you really cannot help but de-stress. Your body just goes into a relaxation state. And if you're not used to that, you might get a little bit lightheaded. So you want to be careful of where you're at for that. And but it really is, you know, one of the things that you can do with all the people going back to work and all the stress that's going on right now. So the other thing I have two things here. I have cilantro, which I'm adding to the salsa. So I'm going to mix about half in there. And then I have chickweed, because as we know, we should eat the weeds. And the chickweed has so many, it's also an anti-inflammatory, has vitamin C. It has so many fantastic vitamins and minerals. You know, it's good for the body. Oh, look, there's a little tiny, when I pulled the chickweed, there's a little tiny kale baby. So he can go in there too. And actually you could add kale. Why not? It's a good idea. So thank you, kale, for joining us unexpectedly. So I'm going to give this guy a little whirl and see. Now these things are always much harder to do sitting down, but I think I mixed my tomatoes in there enough that I can actually do it. So if you stand up, you obviously put a lot more pressure on. And of course, I need to do this way more often because I have a little bit of a sleeve on today, but normally I could see my arm wiggling around when I do stuff, and that's not good at all. I've been much too lax on doing upper body exercise. In the January, February, we went to California, and I went with my best friend Patty to aerial yoga, and that's good for your arms. You know, I don't know if that kind of thing is going to be happening again anytime soon. I mean, it's good for your legs, good for everything. If you do that, you're pretty, you end up doing a lot of really great things. And it worked for me because my hamstrings are so not springy. They're so tight that it's really hard for me to do anything. Oh, look at the little garlics are trying to jump out. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, exercise. Okay, so the cilantro's all wound around the thing. Okay, so I'm gonna really have to stand up and do this. So if I miss you, that's all. getting caught up and stopping the little blade. Okay, gotta put some muscle in here. Of course, you could use a food processor. Oh, okay, so I see what's happening. This is just going around and around and around. Okay, so the chickweed needs to be chopped before you put it in. Probably the cilantro too, but yeah, no, we have a real tangled up mess here around the spinner. So, okay, well, lesson learned on adding chickweed, which I haven't done before, but it's still really good for you. I will just chop it up for the second batch. But you can see that that's pretty chunky, and I like the that consistency of it being, you know, not too sloppy, or drippy, I should say. So, okay, so we're going to do a couple things, and so I can't decide which bowl. Okay, we'll do this bowl. We're going to dump it in here. Okay, you guys can see that okay, I think, how it looks so far. Okay, so we're going to try that again with the rest. And yeah, so anyway, so back to the drawing board. I'm going to set that there, and I'm going to chop up this chickweed. So so cilantro, back to the cilantro. And I'll chop up the chickweed and the cilantro finer. Cilantro is, a lot of people don't like it. I don't know why they don't like the taste, but a lot of people don't. And so if you dry it, it does not taste like, that's so weird. You know what's happening is that I'm on, and then I get bounced off for the from the live on the for my comments. That is so bizarre. It's like it kicks me off, and I don't know why. Luckily, I have another machine going, so I can still see your comments. Anyway, back to the cilantro. The if you dry it, it doesn't taste like cilantro at all. And so really, really beneficial in a tea. It is, it will help to detox the body, and it removes metals, heavy metals that don't belong in your body. I'm going to put that in after the tomatoes soften things up. So yeah, so cilantro tea is really, really important if you have, and we all have, exposure to chemicals, exposure to, you know, cleaners, household cleaners, anything that's not natural. And even if you try to have everything supernatural, you're still going to be exposed to chemicals and things in the air and the environment and the this and the that, for most people anyways. And so to have the cilantro tea is really, really beneficial. It has obviously, you know, lots of vitamins and minerals as well, but specifically it is a clearing and a cleansing herb, and really, really important also for the immune system, because we do tend to get a buildup of metals and chemicals and things like that, you know, all the air, the pollution, the, you know, everything that we do. So I know a lot of people don't, they're like, oh, I couldn't drink cilantro tea. Honest to goodness, you can't taste it. I have a chakra tea. My chakra tea is really beautiful, lovely, mild taste. Everybody absolutely loves it that tries it. It changes colors. It's really, really cool in that it changes colors, and it tastes amazing. It has lemongrass, lemon balm, and I do put a little bit of cilantro in it, just because I want people that drink my teas, I want them to feel better, to get some health benefits from it. And so I have a chakra tea, I have a vitality tea, and I have a cold and flu tea that work amazingly well. And that's my goal, and my intention is for when you drink those teas that you like the taste, and, you know, so far so good, everybody loves it. And oh, that reminds me, the Power 3 here in Port Alberni, they're out of my teas and I need to go drop some off. So that's good. So I'm glad that they're up and open and doing business now. So that's good. And that they need more of my teas. That's really, really good. But I sell the teas, have been selling them for a few years. And my goal is for them to not only taste good, but to help you to feel better and to stay healthy, to enhance and increase your immune system. So, okay, so we do everything here? Okay, we put everything back in. We're going to give her another whirl. And yeah, because we already added the ginger. Okay, so we did the onions, we did the peppers and garlic and the ginger and the turmeric and the lemon for the people that have just come on, and cilantro and chickweed. And one little tiny baby kale. Okay, so we're going to give this a good... See, it works much better when you put less in it too. Okay. The other reason that it's okay for this to be a little bit chunkier is because we are going to ferment it. And when you ferment things, you're using the salt a little bit more, and so it's going to break things down and make things juicier. So that's another reason that we don't need it super mushy salsa. So back to the fermenting. The reason for fermenting, I get so distracted. You know, people are familiar with sauerkraut and kimchi, and you can ferment other things. So fermenting carrots, fermenting salsa. This helps with your gut biome, your intestinal bacteria, which is your whole immune system, which helps to keep you healthy. It's also beneficial if you've ever had yeast problems like candida or yeast problems, athlete's foot, anything like that. It really helps to control things like that because it works through with the bacteria, right? Yeah, it alkalinizes the body. We've got a few little stems of the chickweed in here that probably, oh, they'll be okay. Yeah, so it does so much for you. And oh my gosh, yeah, I just can't say enough about it. It's just oh, the other thing I do remember now is your mental health. I need more fermentation. Your mental health it's been really studied lately for depression, for brain function, for Alzheimer's, for autism. To have your intestinal bacteria, your gut biome in a healthy condition directly affects your brain. Now that's the studies that they've been doing, you know, recently, or more recently, I guess, and super important, and also super, you know, I mean, it's good for it because it makes everything in your intestine work well. It's good for diarrhea as well. And thank you, Darlene, saying my teas are excellent. So what we're just going to, typically when you have, when you're working with sauerkraut or any kind of fermenting, it's typically a tablespoon basically per head of cabbage. And that's not really like a head of cabbage. So I'm going to go with half a tablespoon. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with less because I'm going to really work it in there. And so the idea, so it's a little bit less than half a tablespoon. And so the idea is to really work it in there. This is a Himalayan sea salt too. I'm not using a regular iodized salt in case you guys didn't see that. So you're going to really mix the salt in, and that's the start of to start the fermentation. So typically the fermentation, I should use a wooden spoon. You're not supposed to use metal with the, when you're salting things like that. So I forgot. I'm so busy having fun talking to you guys. Okay, so wooden spoon. And they do suggest if you're mixing it, you can use food grade plastic. I mean, ideally you want to use glass if you can, but I know the other day when I made my sauerkraut, I have so many things on the go. I didn't have a glass container, and so I made it in the plastic honey bin, the honey pail, the honey pail, like Winnie the Pooh. Pooh. Yeah, so you're just gonna really mix the salt in, and like if you were making a sauerkraut with cabbage, you'd be, you know, using your hands and you're really massaging. So this would be pretty mucky if I was to use my hands to do that. So I'm just gonna really stir it in, and the salt starts breaking everything down and gets the fermentation process going. And the thing that's different with this is that we're gonna leave it out. We're not going to put it in the fridge, and that will help for the fermentation to start. So we leave it at room temperature for up to 3 days. And you're going to check it. I'm going to check it like tomorrow morning and then tomorrow night. So check on it a couple times a day, because it will, after, depending on how warm your house is, after the second day, it'll start to bubble a bit and get a little fermenty. And that's when it's activating those really important bacteria that are so beneficial for your gut. And so yeah, so that's what we want to do. And then we're just going to let it ferment for a few days, and then when you have your salsa, you're also really healing your intestinal lining. You're bringing all kinds of good bacteria in, and you know, intensely benefiting your immune system. I just thought of something else that would have been really good in here. Hey, we could have put huckleberries. There you go. But I don't really want to do that because that's a fruit. It's going to break down faster. But it would be really fun if you were going to eat it right away. It would be fun to put the fruit in there. The other thing you could use is mangoes. And I love mangoes, but I just dehydrated the mangoes that I got. So yeah, so if you are going to add fruit, beware that it will break down faster. Ideally, fresh fruit should always be eaten 15 minutes before a meal or 2 hours after, because it's going to break down much faster than any other foods. And so if you have fresh fruit and you've eaten, I don't know, pasta or potatoes or anything, you know, especially meats, because meats take so long to digest, the fruit's going to ferment in your stomach, and it wants to be used and then broken down by the stomach, and then into what's called a chyme, C-H-Y-M-E, I think, and go into the small intestine. And so it can't be released to do that, to do its good and to offer its vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and all that, if it's held back by other foods. So it's all ready to go, but if you've eaten a potato or pasta or bread or crackers or meat or whatever, all that stuff is going to take a really long time for your stomach to break down into the chyme. So then the fruit starts to ferment while everything else is getting broken down. It's just sitting there fermenting, and then that's what creates the gas and the bloating, the indigestion, that kind of thing. So your fresh fruit should always be eaten alone. Now, having said that, when you add it to a veggie smoothie or something like that, the vegetables are going to break down pretty quick too, depending on what the vegetables are, right? So with this here, if this was a regular salsa, and I'm going to put it right in the fridge right away, and I'm going to eat it within a couple days, or, you know, maybe even 5 days or something, then yeah, add your huckleberries. You can add your mangoes, you could add strawberries, you could add whatever you want, because you're going to eat it within a few days. For this particular purpose, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this like you can keep this once it starts to ferment, and you have decided after you keep tasting it that it's got just a little bit of the vinegary fermentation taste, right? Because sauerkraut's sour. And so I said just that little bit of sour vinegary taste. And then, peppers are a fruit and tomatoes are a fruit. Well, they are. I guess you could put them in, but I don't think they break down as fast. Okay, I could be wrong on that, but I don't think peppers and tomatoes, even though they're considered a fruit, I don't think they'll break down quite as fast as berries or mangoes or that kind of fruit. And you know what? We could try it, because like when you bite into an apple, it starts turning brown. and it starts to digest itself. And that's the digestive enzymes in the fruit breaking its own self down. So, so I know that if you, well, if you were to cut open a tomato in half and leave it on the counter, and you were to cut open an apple or a banana or a mango, or whatever else, like you'd have to do the test and see what breaks down the fastest, right? So yeah, so in my mind, the peppers are going to be able to sit out for quite some time longer than an apple or a softer fruit. So that's kind of what I'm gooding at. That's what I'm gooding at. But yeah, you're right, Jane. They are fruits. But for me to hang on to this for any length of time more than a week, I just intuitively feel like I don't really want fruits getting mushy in there. Excuse me. And they certainly will, because of the salt, right? You can see that the salt is breaking this down and making its own brine. And that's what fermenting is creating a brine for the vegetables to be in. Excuse me. And I was just looking for a little glass of water and I left it over there. That's okay. I'll work through it. But anyway, yeah, so you're getting the juice here, and you can actually kind of push on it a bit so that the salt really starts breaking it down. And that's the thing with the sauerkraut too. You're massaging, and you would massage that for, a minimum of 5 minutes, and then you could take a break with your arms if you want, and then massage it again. Ideally for at least 15 minutes to get it really breaking down. And so, of course, the pressure is going to, the massaging is going to get the salt everywhere so that it actually starts breaking down the cabbage. And then, so here, this is kind of what I'm trying to do. I don't know. I mean, I could get in there with my hands and get it really mucky, but I think this is breaking down. So I can leave this for 15 minutes and then come back and stir it around some more, and it'll gather more and more juice. So for the fermentation process, that way you're going to let it ferment, or I'm going to let it ferment for a few days, and then you can put it in the fridge and it could stay there literally for months. Once it's fermented, it will stay for months. So so this would be a good thing to do like in the winter, if you want a really good salsa that's fermented and that's offering you those beneficial bacteria. It will be awesome. So the other thing we're going to do here, I'm just looking at the time, and I'm going to do something new. I'm always doing something new for you guys so that I can make the mistakes so that you don't have to. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to we're going to look for a clean knife here. Okay, so we're going to do these avocados. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way and do some avocados. And you never know. You never know what you're going to get with an avocado when you open it, because they're never ripe until they're too ripe. And if you catch them on the day that they are just right, you are doing really good. So I'm just going to quarter these avocados and throw them in here because I got them. They were the imperfectly perfect avocados. And you should look for stuff like that. Like if you're trying to save money. Nope, don't want the peel in there. Oh, and you can use the seed too, like a lot of people will put the avocado seed in the smoothie, and it's actually soft in the middle and really good for you, full of all kinds of beneficial vitamins and minerals and stuff like that. So so I got these imperfect ones, and so I'm going to do a thing here that I've never done before. Well, that one's okay. It's just got a little bit starting to go on the bottom. I might just scoop that out instead of, I might just do that. And then, so what we're going to do is we're going to quickly, and I won't finish it because it would take too long. My phone just shut off again. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm going to use a spoon for this. Okay, so back to my train of thought here. Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're not going to finish it in front of you, but we're going to give it a try because I have so many of these avocados and I'm just searching for the softer ones. And then I took quite a few out because you never know if they're ripe or they're too ripe or what surprise you're going to find in the middle. Oh, that one looks good. So anyway, we're going to make like a flatbread with the avocados. And so I'm going to mix a little bit of Bob's Red Mill flour in here. And, oh, that's something I forgot. Oh, no, I didn't forget. Oh my God, I forgot. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. Is the lemon. So I did add the lemon to the salsa, and I'll add a little bit of lemon to this too. And the other thing I forgot was I was going to grab some beautiful green onions from the garden, and I forgot to do that. See, when the skin gets a little too, sometimes, you know, they call them, I think they were called alligator pears because of the rough skin, and I think when they're really rough like that, they're just really rough like that. Okay, that's probably enough. So what we're going to do, we're going to, I am going to have to rinse my hands because I didn't pre-measure the flour. I'll be right back. Okay, good thing avocado is not very sticky. So we are going to take our Bob's Red Mill. Oh, that's not Bob's Red Mill. Yeah, it is Bob's Red Mill. We'll take our Bob's Red Mill and we're going to add, okay, so we've got, what have we got? 3 avocados. We're going to add 1 cup of flour. And I'm making this up as we go. Like I have no idea. But yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go like that. And because I have made flatbreads before, and so I'm a little more confident than usual with this experiment. But this is Celtic sea salt. But I'm also oh, you know what? I knew I forgot something in the salsa. I'm going to put this here so you can see it. The salsa. And what I forgot the, I'm going to add a little bit of granulated garlic. And the other thing I forgot was because remember I forgot that I couldn't find the pepper, the green pepper. So I am going to add some cayenne to it. The salsa is not salsa unless it's got some spice in it. Okay, get that in. Okay, back to this. Now that I remember, because now I'm going to add the garlic into my flatbread. And what else? Did I add salt to this? I did. Celtic sea salt. Oh my God. Okay, there's just so much fun. All right, so we're going to smash these down. And you know what? We're going to make them into bread, so I am going to have to use my hands. I did just wash my hands. And what I'm going to do is put this together like this. Can you guys see me? I'm going to make this into bread, and then I know it's not the healthiest thing, but it's healthier than most things, some things. And so we're just going to mix this together, and I'm just going to use a little bit of coconut oil and do a little, I hate to use the word fry, but just going to fry it a little bit and make it into a little bread. And then that way you've got like a little, if you wanted to have like a flatbread or like a naan bread, how do you pronounce that? So see, it's coming together like a dough. And if you, what I'd like to do, and what I probably will do when you guys, when we hang up, I'm going to go out and get some green onions to add to this, because I think that would be good, or chives, or, you know, you could use cilantro, you could add whatever you want to it. But basically, this is it. I'm losing my voice. Should have got some water. we're going to make these into patties. I'll probably add a little more flour, make them into patties, and then fry them. And I'll let you know how they turn out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so okay, I'll do that. I need to get this off. I need to get this off, and add a little bit more flour, and maybe squish it onto a surface with flour, like you do with bread, and see if I can roll it into a patty. Okay, so there's today's experiment. Avocados are so good for you. They have potassium, they have fiber, and oh my gosh, all kinds of vitamins, and I think they have A's, B's, and I think K. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is get someone to pour a little bit of coconut oil onto my hands, and I'll let you know how this turns out. Alrighty, so that was fun. Oh yeah, I picked the huckleberries, and yeah, I'm going to do something with them, and I'll let you know what, and then we'll tune in about the Saskatoon berries tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to turn myself off. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. It's super, super fun and awesome.